All right, today we're actually right here still in Early County, and as you know, we really promote, local business. And one of them actually is my old ag teacher, Mr. David Allen. Today he's retired and he has his own wood shop, which he taught me the woodworking that I know, and we're gonna have a visit with him and see what he's up to. Mr. Allen, how's it going?
Harris, man, good to see you today.
Yeah, you too,
glad
man.
you could come out.
I was telling.
What you doing?
I was telling Micah here, and I've told you because I came out. About 2-3 months ago to talk to you about some cabinets?
About 3 months ago about cabinets.
So we were talking about cabinets, and I got to looking at the shop, and I was like, wow, this is a big difference than back in high school. We had some of the same actual, big machinery, back then, but this is a lot neater, or whatever.
Oh,
but
well, thank you.
Learned a lot from you, and I still use the woodworking skills, even in my business today. And I've got somewhat of a wood shop, but it's a kind of a messy wood shop. So I'm gonna have you come at some point and give me some thoughts on design, because I'm looking around and I see a lot of things that I want to do in my shop to make it cleaner. Because I've got this amount of size almost, but it is not organized.
We're just getting it together, and making it work. And and some of it, keeping it clean, I try to clean up every day.
Well, hey, show me some projects that you're working on.
Show you some things.
Yeah.
Come on in. What I do now is custom woodworks.
Okay.
So I don't have a product per se that I'm doing.
Right.
But I have, as people need it, customers approach me and they need things done.
So when I was talking to you about the cabinets, we went over to Colin's house, you looked at the area and said, this is what I'm gonna have to build.
And then sometimes I work with architects on things like this project is one for one of my very good customers that I have. This is a double queen, double twin bed.
Okay.
And it's going in his beach house.
All right, and that's here?
And that is here and over here. This entire section is the beds.
Well, will the bed go this way?
Yes, and the bed will go this way. These are the queens that will come out. And then up top is where the twins will run this way with a ladder coming down the front to go up.
So there is an element of bunk bed.
Yes, it is an element of bunk bed.
To do this, you're building off a set of plans, is that right?
Yes, let me show you the plans.
Okay.
They're here. And this is what the architect has sent to me, so you might get a better idea of what that's looking like when I finish.
Okay.
Sometimes I work on large projects like this, and I just finished a large molding project for the same house that I delivered last week. So I also do millworks and crown molds, and I've got a small molder.
So you can actually make mold yourself?
Yes.
Instead of going to Home Depot and buying one, you're making that?
molds.
Okay.
Right, yes.
Wow.
And crown molds.
So that's...
And if we need to get a special knife made, like for this project, we had to get a knife made for some of the molds.
And he's talking about a knife to go inside of...
I've got the knives over in the drawer. I can show you what one looks like if you'd like to see.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, that's kind of what we want to do.
Okay.
Maybe you can learn like I did.
You can come around and see. But there's a section of knives in here, and that does a fluted pilaster is what that one does. That does flutes generally on pilasters or columns. That's what I'll do with that one. That'll be a fluted one. And
this goes in a planer, I guess?
Yeah, it's similar to a planer. And it's actually, the machine is sitting there, and I have to balance it. So and this is actually the face of a crown right there. That's a double beaded crown, 4-inch crown. And then it's got a back knife that you have to cut. That's why it's in a set. And so it has a back knife that makes the back of the crown on the back side. So you've got the cutout in that big bar, and you have to balance it. So I have to take the gibs and the knife, and I have to weigh them out as close as I can to 226 grams.
Wow, there's a lot that goes into it then.
And that balances it out so that the motor doesn't bounce all across the floor when it's running.
We learned none of this in 9th grade, basic woodworking.
Yeah, this is some of that.
That is so organized. I mean, that right there is kind of what I'm looking for, is to know where
you can find your tools. And I put it back up every day. Then I know when I need something, I know right where to go put my hands on it. But this is the sander, and that Festool sander it makes. And it hooks into the vacuum, which is a HEPA vac. And so this one is hooked into this where it plugs in, so when you turn this on, it turns the vacuum on, which is very nice.
I've been watching. I want one really bad. And
so when I turn it, it's going to be a little loud, but then you'll hear that come on at the same time.
So this is on. that pops on right away. Does it
soon
do
as I hit
pretty
the
good
switch.
to pull the scent? I mean,
Oh,
the dust?
I really, that's a game changer so far as getting
Right.
the dust out. I mean, it really does.
But that's not
Some
your only
dead
dust
things.
collection. I see you got dust
I've
collection
got
throughout.
other dust. I've got these that goes it pulls through the wall and goes to the outside. I've got one on the other side of the shop as well that pulls
goes-
from the planer and it blows out the back.
So that's
I've got-
another reason the shop is so clean. You're
Yeah,
not getting a lot
the
of
dust
dust.
collection is try to keep as
Wow.
much of it as possible.
Now, Mr. Allen, he's done a lot for me over the years as well. I've hired him for things.
Mm-hmm.
You remember the kitchen cabinets I have in my house now that I still have. I bought from Home Depot. Couldn't figure out how to put them in, so he came over and helped me put them in. And he's like, "Oh, this is junk, right? You should have just built. You should have built wood, and all this." I was like, "I know, I couldn't afford it. We just got married, and that kind of thing." But you also did a piece of furniture for me that is actually. I think I figured out it was around 125, 130 years old based on who we got it from. It had been handed down, and he stripped it and redid it, and I mean, it's just a beautiful piece. But you do furniture.
I still have some of that too. I do, and I've got it in my finish room out here.
Let's take a look.
Walk out there and see.
Let's look at that.
Okay. This is the finish room. I've got filters in the wall. We come inside, and the doors close up. And so when I go to spray, I've got my regulators in here. And
You
all
still
kinds
have
of
to
stuff.
wear something.
I still have to wear a respirator.
Okay.
But it filters out the dust and the bugs that then when later settle on your finish.
Wow.
And then it causes it to be rough, or you're looking
Right.
there's a bug in your finish. I'm like, oh no. So this is I'm more proud of this in the shop than anything because it really helps me on the finish.
So
to do a lot
antique
better job.
furniture, I mean, you see a lot
So-
of this kind of stuff, and is that just you don't see it in newer furniture as often? Do you think that's
Right,
why
this is
people
a
like
hand
antiques?
carved in back. It's actually a Hepplewhite chair.
What'd you say it
furniture
was? It was a what
style. A
kind?
Hepplewhite design. Hepplewhite is a furniture designer. And
Wow, this is
okay,
nice.
then I've also added something else.
Yep, I see your LED bulbs in here.
Yeah, I'm gonna talk to you about that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna talk to you about some of that.
Hey, I saw this last time and I was amazed.
Yeah.
This guy right here.
So also what I've added within the last year and a half or so has been the CNC router that I've added to the shop.
Right.
And I've done a tremendous amount of work on this. I've done everything from coasters to Christmas tree ornaments.
Yeah, I
to
see some coasters over
all
there.
that. Yeah.
Wow. So, yeah, check those out. That's pretty nice.
Yeah.
And he didn't do that by hand except just typing it in.
Yeah, right.
Right.
Now then I had to paint it and sand it.
And of course, this right here.
Yeah, and then
I believe I can sell this on our website, in the store. Well, maybe not the website, but in Blakely, Georgia, this is the number one team right here. It's people go crazy over the
and it's out of
Bulldogs.
solid maple, and then it's the multiple paints and colors, and so.
Show me about the machine over
show
here.
you
I'd
over here
like-
what it's doing.
This is pretty awesome. Guys, we just got through looking at the other side of the shop. I'm kind of calling it two parts because of the separation wall. You've seen the small projects, the big projects, the furniture restoration and all. And now we've introduced a little bit of the CNC machine, but we want to make a part two and let you see something actually be created. So look for part two.